Um, Chris Brown, number one, Chris Brown versus Jonathan Majors. Number two, forgiveness is for men. Number three, the indoctrination of the black woman to black male worship. I actually should put a number four on there, which is picking and choosing who you are outraged by. Matter of fact, that's what I'm about to do. I'll be right back. Which is picking and choosing who you are outraged by. Matter of fact, that's what I'm about to do. I'll be right back. All right, all right. Hold on. Let me switch this out. Okay, okay. Okay, you guys, I want to talk about the topics on the screen right there. Number one, Chris Brown versus Jonathan Majors. Number two, forgiveness is for men. Number three, the indoctrination of the black woman to be in worship. Number four, selective outrage, R. Kelly. And those are the topics on the screen that I want to talk about. And honestly, I think that if people ever think about the double standards that like we apply to men, you know what I'm saying, versus on like if we like them or not, because I'm very irritated. I've seen all of these think pieces about Jonathan Majors and how people are mad at Keke Palmer for supporting Jonathan Majors and the fact that Jonathan Majors abused a woman. Now, you know, I to me, first of all, abusing a woman, putting your hands on a woman is not right in any circumstances, shape, form, or fashion. I do find it strange that black women are really taking this hard stance, and like really defending this white T woman, which is weird to me, but nonetheless, what he did was wrong. Cool. But my thing is that he's done his time of losing all his endorsements and all of these things. Good morning. Good morning, Unbreakable. And I don't want people to confuse this with me trying to take Jonathan Majors' side, because I absolutely do not. I think that Jonathan Majors is using black women and the black community. So let me make this clear, but I'm still about to say this because when you think about it, it makes sense. So everybody, Jonathan Majors has lost his endorsements. He lost his deal with Marvel. He lost all of these things. He went off he dropped off the scene for a minute, popped back up with Megan Good and all of these things. Why is he not able to be redeemed? But anytime y'all make all type of excuses for Chris Brown and say that, oh, he can still be redeemed, even though several times after his initial offense with Rihanna, he got caught doing it again with other women, got caught discriminating against dark-skinned women, got caught jacking up Karuchi and stalking her and all of these things, then got caught up being at a skating rink, yelling at Tiana Taylor, calling her a B-word, acting crazy, so much so that Usher had to step in. But y'all still forgive Chris Brown. Is there a reason why Chris Brown is up for forgiveness, but Jonathan Majors isn't? I think there's a very, 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 very reason for that. And I think that it is rooted in, y'all think that Chris Brown is attractive. But y'all don't think that Jonathan Majors, sorry, I got tongue tied. Y'all don't think that Jonathan Majors is. And the fact that women are being selective, BLK women are being selective on who they allow to be harmful or who they forgive based on bad behavior, based on looks, honestly, is the reason why so many BLK women still get okey doke, dogged out, tricked, fooled by men right now to this day. Because if you don't have a clear standard of conduct for all men, regardless of what they look like, you're always going to be in a bad position. Number two, I wanted to talk about this whole thing about forgiveness. Like, they've done their time, they served their time. Of being, ousted by the black community or people looking down on them. It's time to forgive them. That only applies to BLK men. If a black woman does something that y'all perceive to be bad or whatever or harmful, that is on her for life. And I think that the perfect example of that is the treatment of Kanye West versus Chrisette Michele. Have y'all ever looked at that? Like, Chrisette Michele, right? She got canceled. And a lot of people liked her. She got canceled for doing that Trump, party or whatever. However, we have had plenty of BLK men celebrities at this point do that. Snoop Dogg, Nelly. We also had Steve Harvey, Kanye West, Lil Wayne pop up in support of Trump, and nobody has said anything to them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's canceled them. People was just hollering for Lil Wayne to do the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? People still like Nelly, talk about, Nelly and Ashanti are black love goals. Still, nothing wrong with Nelly. People still supporting Snoop Dogg. But why is it so easy to throw a BLK woman away? Huh? Yeah, they did her super bogus, Unbreakable. So I think that it's really time to take a deep dive in the fact that forgiveness is only reserved for BLK men in the BLK community. It's not, black women, BLK women are not getting it, period. You do something as a BLK woman, you deserve to suffer and pay for it for the rest of your life. Never any forgiveness, never any, I understand where you're coming from, sis, and why you made that mistake. Nothing. We only give that forgiveness and that infancy and that coddling to BLK men. Yeah. Number three, I wanted to talk about the indoctrination of the BLK woman to BLK worship, BLK man worship. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I really truly do believe that it is an indoctrination that happens to every single solitary BLK woman in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because we like to pretend that a lot of women that come on here hollering about forget these dudes, forget these ninjas, that they are not, that they don't have it inside of them, but they do. I've seen some of the most aggressive BLK women that talk about BLK men be low-key show signs of BLK men worship. And I think a perfect example is Princella. You have Princella, somebody that comes out and says that, men are evil, men don't have any emotions, men are incapable of love. Don't be with men. Don't talk to men. Leave them alone because they're so suspicious and horrible, only for her to go in places where there are only males there and validate their opinions on women's behavior. Or for her to say, oh, no, now I see where y'all men are coming from. I do, because, yeah, these women be acting up. Have y'all seen any of those videos of her doing that? And I think that that's actually disturbing. And I think that actually shows you that no BLK woman is exempt from showing some type of signs of BLK man worship. You know what I'm saying? It's present. I've seen some of the black women, BLK women that get on this app that talk about, decentering men are no good. I have seen them sit there and become a different woman in the presence of men. So happy to get their attention and be on a panel with them. Strange, strange, strange. And I'm not necessarily putting this on BOK women because, like I said before, it is an indoctrination that takes place. Do I know where it came from? No. Do I know how it happened? No. Do I know like at what stage of like mental development that causes it to happen to like BOK women and BOK girls? I don't know. But I know that it definitely happens. Also, I wanted to talk about what people are saying now about Keke Palmer and her supposed support of R. Kelly. And people talking about, oh, I knew Keke Palmer wasn't a good person and all this stuff. I'm not here to talk about her, what she said about R. Kelly or what she didn't say or whatever. Me personally, I can no longer listen to R. Kelly's songs. I can't. I cannot. I used to think that I was the type of person that could separate the art from the artist. But I believe that when you have done something so heinous like that, I just can't get in the headspace to listen to your songs anymore because I know now what in the headspace that you were in. So now as I'm vibing out, all I can do is vibe out and think about, did you write this for a kid? Did you write this for a teen girl? What? I just can't get into the mind space for it. Because I will tell you, I loved R. Kelly, Your Body's Calling You. That was one of my top favorite songs for playlists to all of that. And I just can't listen to it. I can't. I can't. It just doesn't do it for me anymore because I don't know what he was thinking about when he did it. So it's not that I don't understand about, certain artists, but I think this outrage that people are having with Keke Palmer, it's like y'all choose which black men y'all want to put on the block list and which BOK men should be looked down on. But then other BOK men that have also been accused of heinous acts, y'all decide to protect and defend them. Like, so my thing is, if you're not doing it for all of them, get out of my face. If you still listening to Chris Brown and you yelling at somebody about R. Kelly or yelling at somebody about Jonathan Majors and saying, oh, what are you black BOK women doing? Y'all aren't, I don't want to hear it. Because picking and choosing because you think somebody's cute or not, picking and choosing because, you like their art way too much, so you feel like you can't get rid of this person's art, but you can get rid of that person's art. That's all performative. That means at the end of the day, you don't mean nothing that you're saying. You don't. And I don't know, that's just crazy to me. For real. Now, I do say that I find it odd that Sherry Shepherd was, she had Jonathan Majors on the show and she's doing all this crying and hooting and hollering. Yeah, that's weird. But I swear the same women that I saw tear Sherry Shepherd up, and I don't like Sherry Shepherd. I don't. It's something about her that gives me the ick. But everybody that I saw tearing up Sherry Shepherd for crying about Jonathan Majors are the same ones that I see posting that they just got their Breezy Bowl tickets. They both did the same thing. They both put their hands on a woman. Right? They both have paid their debt to society or whatever you want to call it. So why are y'all picking and choosing? Like I said, and I feel like neither one of them should be chosen. But I'm just saying, if you feel like that, why are you picking one above the other? Isn't that hypocritical or no? You know what I'm saying? And I wish that more BOK women would look at the decisions that they make and their thought processes, because until you can unpack the reason why you're doing something, you will continue to do it. And also the underlying motivation behind it, it will keep happening to you because you're not thinking about, why am I doing this? Is it the fact that I haven't been centered by men, so I center them hoping that they'll center me? Is it because that you watched a higher worth and value be placed on a BOK man's life and existence over yours? Did you see all of your life, BOK men and boys be centered and be given grace and people made excuses for them? But when you did something, it was like, yeah, you shouldn't, people being extra hard. You get what I'm saying? Anywho, like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get some more people here in the box to talk about this, but I'll wait to see if I can get some people in here to like get in the box and stuff. If not, what I'm gonna do is I'll just come back in like an hour or so where people are probably more up, because I'm shadow banned on TikTok anyway. Like, and I've been shadow banned for a while. But anywho, yeah, that's what I want to talk about because I don't know. It's just such a big double standard to me. And it's very annoying to me. It's a huge, huge, huge double standard. And I wish that, we as Black people would acknowledge it. But it's like the double standards that we have, we just pretend that they don't exist. Even though they do. Even though they do. These double standards are real. Right there. Clearly able to be seen if you want to see them. If you want to see the difference in the way that BLK men who do something wrong or bogus or offend, even do something like horribly egregious, you know what I'm saying? You can see it if you look. Like, imagine, like, let's talk about even the video of Diddy, right? Diddy beating Cassie. All you saw was a lot of people making excuses. Oh, I heard she was trying to run away with some of his money. Oh, that's her fault. She should go ahead and endure the beatings because she wanted a certain lifestyle. She wanted the money. She signed on for it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, imagine. Just think about this. Picture this in your mind's eye. Picture yourself, and I'm going to use a famous person. Picture yourself seeing Beyonce, a popular Black pop singer. One of the most popular, pop singers of all, at least out of these generations. Imagine Jay-Z came running out of some place with barely nothing, dragging stuff. And she just started, since she's a woman, let's say she just started whopping him with like a bat, beating him. Do you think that the Black community would make any excuses for Beyonce, even with her status? So I had to find a Black woman that's at least on Diddy's level. Do you think that the BLK community would make excuses and say, oh, Jay-Z was probably trying to steal from her? Jay-Z was trying to do this or that? No. She would just be public enemy number one, period. That's it. Nobody would give her any grace for doing that. None at all. And then better yet, imagine, even if the man wasn't even on the same level as she was, because Jay-Z's on the same level, let's say it was just like a lesser known celebrity male that she was doing that to. It would be the end of her. There would be no excuses made for her behavior. There'll be no excuses, possibly who knows what's going on with Beyonce and why she beat that man with a bat. You know what I'm saying? If y'all see a BLK woman even doing something that you perceive as disrespectful to a BLK man, yelling, screaming, calling him a name, getting in his face, y'all don't give him no grace. And that man could have did something. So it's like, I wish that we would really think about that. You know what, Unbreakable, you right. I might not use this because she does have a very, very firm base of worshipers. You're right. So maybe I should have used like somebody less popular. But I know that you get what I mean. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of protection that is extended, you know what I'm saying, towards BLK men who do bad things than BLK women. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to me. And I don't know. It's like we never like unpack that and talk about it. Like, honestly, anytime you try to talk about things like this, all you see is deflection and more deflection. But this is definitely a problem. And the fact that forgiveness is only reserved for BOK men is the reason why a lot of young black women have made mistakes in their lives and feel unworthy, as if they cannot, bubble back from any of the mistakes and choices that they made. Because there is no grace extended or given to them or forgiveness. None. The same way a man can have a million different baby mamas and people can make excuses for him. And also simultaneously blame the woman, even though he's responsible for who he releases his seed into. Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, you guys, I think I'm going to end this live and I'm going to come back in maybe at 9 o'clock. So maybe in like 45 minutes or so. Oh, so I got somebody to come up here. Hey, Crystal.
Hey girl, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey. I'll
Pretty good.
I'll answer a few questions. I seen that you was up there, and I do got like a quick question. Um, well, what I can say is in regards to the black male worship, et cetera, et cetera. On top of that, man versus woman worship. If he's any type of charismatic, cute, money, et cetera, it's almost like they could do absolutely entirely no wrong at all. And you could call it out. You could be like, hey, something is wrong about this. But what I've always noticed is there's always, like how we talked about last time, there's always sadly a woman, whether it be mother, sister, et cetera, that is willing to like co-sign that bad behavior. And it's just all over the place stuff. Like I'm confused too when it comes to that, because looks and money should not determine whether or not somebody is a good enough person to support or be around. My question is for number 4. When you say selective outrage for R. Kelly, what specifically do you mean? I only asked that because I got on here kind of late and I didn't really hear the
Oh, okay.
what you
No
meant.
problem.
Mhm.
Well, first I want to start off by saying, I don't rock with R. Kelly at
Right,
all. I used to really love his music, growing up as like a teen and stuff like that.
right.
I can no longer listen to it, me personally, just because the whole mind frame of where he was. I don't know what he
Mhm.
was thinking about when he wrote "Your Body's Calling Me." You know what I'm saying?
No, no,
That was
I
my
understand.
favorite song, and I I don't know what he was thinking. Like, are you thinking about kids? You think about teens? So
That
I
part.
don't rock out with R. Kelly. I think that I'm an '80s baby. I know that he did it. I remember a friend of mine that I was cool with back in the day had the R. Kelly videotape on VHS. That's how
Mm-hmm.
throwback it was. I saw it with my own eyes. We weren't really aware of what we were watching at that time. That's probably something we shouldn't have witnessed.
That's what that
But
was. Yeah.
he definitely did that.
No, yeah. I
Yeah,
believe that.
so
I
I'm
believe
not
that.
no fan of R. Kelly, but I will say that I do think that there is a selective outrage that people choose for R. Kelly. I
Right.
don't know why people jumped on the R. Kelly bandwagon, but then other people that are accused of doing the same thing or doing other things get grace that's harmful. That's
Right.
what I mean. It's like everybody was mad at Keke Palmer for, they said, perceiving her to have, I guess a long time ago, said something in support of R. Kelly, or
Right.
saying that she wanted to know all the facts or something that she supposedly has said. But then
Hmm.
those same women I see talking about they're getting their Breezy Bowl tickets and they can't wait to see
Yeah.
Chris Brown. And I just was saying that there is like a selective outrage that BLK women choose when they want to pick and choose who they want to support.
Okay, and I understand where you're going with that. I get that. Um, and there may be many people that just do not agree with what I'm about to say here in regards to the music. I cannot say that I have fully canceled R. Kelly in regards to the music. Now, why I say this is because I feel like the whole industry would have to be canceled. Like they'd have to shut the whole shit down. Excuse me for cursing. They'd have to shut the whole thing down. They'd have to shut down Chris Brown. Not Chris Brown. They'd have to shut down Chris Brown. They'd have to shut down James Brown. They'd have to shut down like a whole, pretty much everybody. they'd have to shut down Hollywood as it comes because it's built on that. But I don't hate on anybody who does say I'm not listening to that, because at the end of the day of what it represents. Um, Another question that I do have, relevant or not, would you listen to like the Age Ain't Nothing But a Number album, or do you turn that off? Because he did write that. He's on the album in the background, like shamelessly. Like, would you listen to things that he maybe produces or things like that, or you just completely say forget it? Or what do you
I've
think?
listened to some things still that he's produced, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I was like a preteen when Aaliyah AJ Nothing But a Number came out. I knew that song word for word. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I can't listen to it no more.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, I just know that why he wrote it, what he was doing, I just can't get with it. But I do agree with you when you said that, if you're going to do that, the whole industry will have to be canceled. And I do understand it, and I do agree with you. Because I know Beyonce has a lot of, like, worshipers and stuff like that, and not trying to piss off the beehive, but I'm not y'all child, and y'all not gonna whip me. But if y'all think that Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z is telling the truth when he say that he wasn't Puff Daddy's friend, you're a fool. You
Nah,
are
he
a super
played.
duper goofy. This
Bruh
man
lying
was
bad.
definitely his homeboy, definitely his friend, definitely really cool with him. But now all of a sudden, because he's in trouble, he don't want it to bleed off onto him. So now all of a
Mm.
sudden they wasn't cool like that. That man was on stage calling this man his best friend. He the only person that could call
And
him
call him
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah, and
Right.
all this other stuff. So my thing is that if you go down the rabbit hole when it comes to that, you
Huh.
think, Jay Z is hanging out with Diddy, who is an alleged predator. You think that Jay-Z is not on the same type of time? You don't think that somebody hangs around somebody for like 30 years and they know that they get down like this and they've never been involved. And so if you say that, okay, well, that makes sense with Jay-Z. Then why do you think Beyonce's been with Jay-Z so long? You think she don't know that all of them get down like that?
Mm.
It just goes down the rabbit hole. So then are you going to not listen to Jay-Z? Then are you not going to listen to Beyonce? Then are you not going to listen to somebody else that's cool with her that's in the group, Kelly Rowland and Michelle, and then the people that offshoot from them, and da 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 da. It
All
does go down the
connected.
rabbit hole.
It's
I
all
agree.
connected. Yeah. And what make it even worse with the whole Jay-Z aspect, because I wasn't connected to Diddy the Son. First of all, you're a liar because we see pictures. Second of all, they had a whole rat pack. They were saying they was trying to do the whole Sammy Davis Jr. thing when they, come together in Richmond, this and third, and is with, if I remember correctly, Wilder Marana, if I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, and Wilmer, and with the other dude who was on that 70 show who played daggone who
Ashton Kutcher, Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, that's a different one because people. That's also the funny part because not him. We'll start with the other one, the one with the curly hair who just got charged. Jonathan Masterson.
Oh,
Masterson.
okay, okay, okay.
They made a rat pack with him. And all of them was going out of town, doing what they do. And now you want to act like all on the bed and in the white clothes, all that. Y'all acting like y'all ain't with this man, but okay. But then with Ashton Kutcher, but that also is what pisses me off because Ashton Kutcher got with Mila Kunis when that girl was like, what, 14? Because she lied about her age to get on that 70s show. But at some point, they found out and they still facilitated things, inappropriate things for her to do, like kissing Ashton Kutcher. Or I think that Masterson did a vote with, not a vote, did a bet with Ashton Kutcher based on something that Mila Kunis had going on, like kissing her and touching her, something like that. And they just had no shame about it. But now these two people are married and there is no outrage. There is no child bride talk. There is no you took advantage or groomed this girl. It's just happy couple. And these people co-signed. Masterson wrote a whole 10-star letter to give to the judge on his behalf. So there's always going to be somebody applauding this weird behavior. If it's not just through the arts and trying to separate the art from the art, because again, I am wrong for that myself. I separate art from. If it's not just that, then it's people who just full throttle will make excuses for this weird stuff, and I don't get it. I truly don't. But I guess that's the industry that we are in. With R. Kelly, I feel like the man did it. I feel like there's proof of what he's done to Aaliyah, especially because the whole marriage certificate, this, that, and third. But people will still continue to be like free kills, and that's the people that scare me to my core. Like, they shake me to my core, because at the end of the day, you don't got no kids, you don't got no wife, a little sister, nothing. Y'all be around is just free him because he could sing. For real? Like, is that what we're doing? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, girl, I see that video. And he did it. He did it. Like, I mean, in the video, somebody says Robert. He says Han. Like, it's clearly this man. Like, it's clearly the man. Like, the thing about it is that R. Kelly was really stupid because he got
Yeah.
away with murder that time.
Yes.
Like, he got away. Like, if he had just like chilled
Green.
and just never did it again, like, he wouldn't be in jail right now. But
Yes.
he just kept doing it over and over again. And I really do think that people that victimize women and girls, like, it's a sickness and addiction, and he could not stop it. And he didn't have anybody
No.
that was willing to stop him, because they were enjoying taking his
Placating.
money because he was not educated. You know what I'm saying? So they over there just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of what they alluded to on the surviving R. Kelly thing. Like, who was the people booking all these planes for these kids to be flown out, et cetera, et cetera. And Drea said it specifically. Can't read. He can't read. So it's like, who's doing all this stuff? And it has to be the team around him. Now, let me ask you a question, because I'm kind of torn on that, because you did bring up Cassie, and Drea is very relevant to certain things like this. Now, in regards to Drea Kelly, do you feel like she was a victim that really could not control the situation, in regards to like how Cassie somewhat, they were both treated a certain way, done a certain way, I think possibly drugged, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that Drea is more of a perpetrator or a victim? Because I've heard Drea being treated more as a perpetrator, but Cassie is more of a victim. And there are some people who are just like, well, Drea, her kids had something happen to her, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm just like, something happened to kids regardless. But I do understand what you're saying. Something happened to her own kids, but I can't stand by and watch something happen to kids regardless. So is there a difference between the two of them that you can pull? Or what do you think?
I will say that Drea Kelly, she does give a very weird vibe. But
Mhm.
I feel like, sometimes, when you think about these things, people have to think about their hidden biases.
Right.
Is it because she's a brown skinned, monoracial woman? Is it the fact that Cassie is a, multiracial woman, light skinned? Is that why there's a difference in, how she's perceived? I'm not quite for sure. I can just speak for me, because I'm definitely not a colorist. Speak for me, because I'm definitely not a colorist at all.
Right.
I'm the complexion of Drea Kelly. I just feel like she does give a weird vibe, but I think also it might be that Drea Kelly, when she's told her story, it was more like I don't know too much about her, like when she actually first was approached by R. Kelly. But I know when I read the whole court documents of Cassie, when she was talking about how, he had got at her, and he was like kind of forcing her. She wasn't into it, but he kept forcing her, ended up drugging her up, and that's how she ended up getting into it. Um, I I mean, R. Kelly, he's been doing stuff to people. So
Okay.
Drea Kelly could definitely be a victim as well, and could have not had anything to do, or she could have been, manipulated by R. Kelly. But I think it's the fact that I think the reason why she gets more backlash, now that I'm thinking about it, is that after the fact she's been so, out there with her sexuality, like
Right.
doing the little dances, not having no clothes on, doing the splits and twerking and things like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that, her doing dance classes and stuff. I just think with the reputation of who her husband was, what she's, been rumored to be involved in, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not for sure, but I mean, I definitely
And
think that R. Kelly was doing something to her too, for sure.
Keeping the last name is definitely crazy. I don't know.
and
Keeping
and
the
I will say this too. I think that she's very traumatized. And I think that she's just trying to find herself because she's been caught into that situation for so long that she doesn't know how, you know what I mean? She probably does not even know who she is at this point. And she's really trying to find herself without that man, you know, like them being together, him putting her through what she says he put her through, you know? And if I've experienced being married to someone that was a narcissist, and he wasn't even the extreme version like R. Kelly and a lot of these men are. But it was so bad that when I did get out of my marriage, that, you know, I had to go backwards. Like, I went complete full on backwards, like to the person I was in my 20s. And then I finally, you know, it I finally remembered who I was without that man. And I think that's what she was going through, because she's been a little more quiet lately, you know, and she probably just had to go through that. She had to find herself. She was traumatized. And I do feel that offness about her. And that's because, again, her mind is messed up. You know, whatever she went through, she's completely traumatized. And that's why she does that. And even her keeping her last name, a lot of women keep their last name. Not me, I didn't. But a lot of women keep their last name. And I talked to a girl about that, and she said, well, I earned it. You know, and I'm like, what do you mean you earned it? Like, what are you getting out of it? You know what I mean? What are you getting from it? You didn't receive no type of inheritance or anything from this marriage. Get rid of the name, you know. But again, she might still be in a state where she's traumatized and still trying to find herself. And at some point she will, but I do feel that offness about her. And I do agree about the sexuality and things like that. But you got to think, she's traumatized and she's been this sexual being for him. And I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to keep saying that word, but she's been this type of woman that he wanted. And so she's probably trying to shake that off of herself, you know, and indirect, like not indirectly, unconsciously, you know, she's probably just, you know what I'm saying, just going through the motions right now of finding herself.
And I get that wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not trying to take that away from her. Like we said, I think the only main issue that I have, unless there's of course more to the story of what she knows, is keeping that name, keeping that last name. And if you're trying to dissenter this person, or trying to get away from this person or your correlation to this person as much as you can, you're not going to hold that down. And I feel like it, just in my opinion now. Some people may. Now, I understand that, you know, you got to use what you have to get what you want. So if you got that last name and it rings bells, it rings ears, I'm not mad at it. But is the money and the opportunities really worth it? Is it really worth that shadow that's already there, but just even more attached because that name is still on top of you? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really worth it?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't, you know, like Trigger has been talking about for a while, you know, about women that are decentering men. Are they truly decentering men? You
Right.
know, at the end of the day, she might not even be knowledgeable of what to do or how to do it in order to decenter a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she probably still has to even unpack that.
Right.
Like I said, being the person that she is without him. She has to learn to be that person, and because she's been who he told her he wanted her to be for so long, you know.
No, you're right. What
Yeah, because like, wasn't she being held captive too, just like all the other women?
I've heard that. I've heard that too. I've
Yeah,
heard that.
she was. He wouldn't let her. He would beat her up and put her in the you know, in the room, and make her stay there, and while he did his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, that's a battered woman.
Yeah.
And I think we don't see her pain because she is out there putting her body out there, and she still got her shape, and she still is a thin
Meeting.
woman, and
Yeah.
and having like me, gained the weight from the baby weight. So we look at her and we're like, she's okay, but she probably isn't, and that's her way of getting through this,
Yeah.
what she been through.
They think she supposed to be like an old maid or something like that. And now if you really, really been out here participating in the same things as this man, you should be locked under the jail too. But if you really are simply a victim of the circumstances and the situation, then she shouldn't be just confined to being this whole, just again, old maid, just in the house, laying down, whatever the case may be. Now, I do feel like she should have maybe taken a break or something like that, because that's a lot to come off of. That's a lot to come off of, to say you just going back out. But I'm not judging her. It's just try to get yourself together as best you can. One other thing I'll say, and I'll land after that, is the fact that like how I tell people who say I'm tired of racism, and most of the time it's in opposition to someone who's calling out racism. They'll say, I'm tired of racism, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. And I will tell them, at the end of the day, if you are so tired, you're going to come together with those who are being oppressed by that racism, go to the government, try to see if you can dismantle it, walk arm in arm with them, like really try to say, we're not having it. Because at the end of the day, the overarching government is what pushes these things. And just like with racism, it pushes the patriarchy. That's what the countries were built on. So at the end of the day, if we're not all trying to lock up together and say, we're done with this government, we're done with the things that they push out and enforce, there's a hard way to decenter that, because it's going to always somehow be centralized. The laws are going to somehow be centralized. Our wiring in our minds, really, from when we push a child out, there is going to be some centralization of the patriarchy. So I don't know how we gonna all do that. I feel like I don't think that's gonna happen in our lifetime, and I don't know if that's even realistic for me to say. But that's just really how I feel like we're going to have to nip it in the butt if we're really, really, really going to say decentralize these men. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Crystal. Let me go down here to Jess. Go ahead, Jess.
Hey, yeah, I actually heard in accordance with what the person before me just said when we're talking about decentering and everything like that. But as a person who actually kept my name for years after my marriage was dissolved, I'm going to say for especially for women with the conditioning of how it is, there's a look sometimes that come along with it that has nothing to do with the man, even when you're done with the man. Like, let's say if you had kids, remember just the look of even going to their school. This is all what conditioning does. Like, it makes you think certain ways. So even going to the schools and having the same name as your kids, doing things like, all those things compact into that. So I kind of understand sometimes why someone will not jump to always change their name if they're still centered, male centered. You understand that?
Yeah, I do. And I do understand the purpose of, like, if you are, like, let's say you divorce your husband and you have kids and you keep his last name because you don't want to have a different last name from your kids. I do understand that. And sometimes women do it for, like, they don't want to be shamed for shame purposes. But even if you're not doing it for shame purposes, I don't see anything wrong with wanting to have the same last name as your children. I don't. So I get what you're saying. At least let me know if that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, that is exactly. I mean, and I don't now. I think like the more you learn, the more you come into yourself. You don't want to hold on to things like that, and it becomes minuscule. And so it's like it depends. It's a mindset thing and a process. So like I wouldn't judge people who gone through a lot, especially when times are different. Because remember, even in the Drea Kelly situation, her time was different before, a lot more than it is now. Whereas there's a lot more talk around about decentering and what that encompass. So so that's how I just look at it. So I do give grace with that kind of stuff in a sense, because when you know better, you do better, and if you don't do better, then that's on you. That's you. So
Yeah, definitely. I totally get where you coming from, for sure. Um, like I said, y'all, I really just made this live because it was really blowing my mind, all the think pieces that, and like, once again, let me just preface it again for anybody who just came. I I'm not on the side of Jonathan Majors at all. I think that Jonathan Majors is a fake and a phony. I think that he's using the black community to get sympathy and to build his career back up. I also think that he's using Megan Good. I really do. I think that anytime he talks about her, how much he loves her on any platform, I think that he's a great actor, but I don't even think that he can act like he likes her because it always comes off very disingenuous and phony. And this isn't to say that I don't think Megan Good is a beautiful black woman. I do, but I do think that Jonathan Majors is playing a long game, in my opinion. So let me say that I'm not a fan of his at all. I mean, I'm a fan of his acting. I think he's a great actor, but I don't think that his character is where it needs to be at all. But I will say that I see all these think pieces about Jonathan Majors and why are we supporting him and all of the things that he's done and that he's using the black community, which is all true. But then I see the same women talking about, like I said earlier, they just got their Chris Brown tickets, they got their Breezy Bowl tickets, and all of these things. And what's the difference between Chris Brown and Jonathan Majors? Nothing. They both got caught doing something physical to a woman. They both lost a lot of their stuff, and now they managed to rebuild themselves in the eyes of the black community and society. Why is it that one person is more acceptable than the other one? And I think that we know that a lot of people think that I don't think that Chris Brown is attractive, but there are a lot of people that do think that Chris Brown is attractive. And I think that women should just really unpack their biases and stop. Y'all think Chris Brown is cute? That's the reason why he can beat the brakes off of somebody and y'all not care. But y'all don't think that Jonathan Majors is attractive. I mean, he does have a nice body, but I do think that he's really not attractive in the face. Just my opinion. And I think a lot of women feel the same way. So y'all are easy able
Correct.
to throw him to the side. And that's weird. Okay, because a beater is a beater, a predator is a predator, no matter what type of skin that he has on, no matter type of husk he's wearing. And that's scary to me because that is the reason why so many women still get okey doked and dogged out by dudes because y'all are just looking at the outside. Oh, he cute, he cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and overlook all of this and then be on TikTok doing story time lives crying. It's crazy. It just don't make no sense to me. Truthfully, it doesn't.
I definitely agree with you on that. Like I've never been a fan of Chris Brown. I will say that. So like this is easy for me. But but like I really do agree that yes, Jonathan Majors is not, he's a very disingenuous person. I don't know. I just can't take him seriously, and it does his eyes. I see his eyes and the way, I don't know what that is. It's like it's there's no soul there. In my opinion, that's how I see it. But at the same time, they have made Chris Brown an exception. Like he's literally making more money off of taking pictures with women online than he is having concerts. It's crazy. And they, I don't know what it is about him. They just love him. They love him, and it doesn't matter what he does. And I think he hit what he did to Riri is way harsher than what happened with Jonathan Majors and the woman he was with. It's way harsher, and they forgiven him. They did that with him.
Oh, and then
And
and
Tori,
then Kamisha, not to mention the fact if y'all remember when what's her name, Karuchi tried to leave, how he was stalking her and he was saying that like, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm gonna, make you sick of me. I'm gonna stalk you. Him meeting her out that club and trying to force her in the car and all that stuff. Like I forget, like did everybody forget that? Did
Women
everybody
ate it
forget that?
up. We thought that
they
that
don't care.
toxicity is cute. Like it's not. We really be thinking that type of toxicity is cute and that it's showing that, oh, he want me or he this that and the third, when all he got to do is just act like, nah, I'm not gonna say act like a decent person, because I mean that be low par too sometimes, but a person's gonna act like they want you. They's not gonna do the opposite of that to convince you or something. That's
Oh
just
snap! I'm sorry, you guys. Jess Justified. Did she get a chance to speak? Jess, did you drop? I'm sorry. If you come back, I'll let you speak. I'm sorry about that. We just started talking again. I'm so sorry, Jess.
no.
No,
I'm
she
so
did
sorry.
speak.
Oh, did she?
She did speak. Uh-huh.
Okay. Because I couldn't remember. My mind just went blank. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I
No,
was.
you good. I was about to say, I'll shut up. That's rude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness! I just wanted to make sure because I was like, oh my goodness, like I didn't want her to feel like I was just brought her up, not let her say nothing. But yeah, okay. Let me let Ebony speak and then we can get back into it. Go ahead, Ebony.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, you guys are hitting it all on the head this morning. Especially with that Chris Brown and Jonathan Majors, right? Because number one, I've never really been a Chris Brown fan. Don't get me wrong, he makes some good music, but I've never been to say I'm a fan, like to go out and buy his concert tickets and
Right.
to defend his horrible behavior. I always just kind of give him the side eye a little bit. That's always just been me. And I think some of us are so forgiving because, oh, okay, he's doing this, he's trying to change. And it's going back to my childhood. Like my parents would teach, oh, you have to forgive, like no one's perfect, right? And so in my adult life, I found myself doing that. But it's going back to what triggers say, you got to be careful with giving people grace. Like you got to be careful with that because sometimes that gets a lot of women hurt by giving a lot of these men grace when we should be using our discernment, right?
Right.
And so, I think they're one and the same. I think, like you said, Chris Brown, I mean, he did way worse when he was giving Rihanna a two-piece combo in the car. I mean, like, my goodness. And, Jonathan Major, he just got caught. That's what that was. And then, yeah, I do think he's using Megan Good. I do see it doesn't look real, right? It just doesn't look real to me. It's like forced. And I find it very, I'm side eyeing him because I'm like, now you want to get a black woman after all this stuff went down with you with the YT woman. And that's fine. You want to date a YT woman. That's okay. But why now? Like, I feel like the why is missing. So,
Girl, they say that this man, they say that the rumors are that he like almost exclusively interracially dated. So until this, what you say?
with Jonathan Majors, really?
Yes. So this is very, and he has a child. His child is biracial by a white woman.
I did not know he had a kid.
Yes, and so it's just
I've never
very
seen
weird.
the kid.
Yes, it's very strange. Like you were cool with the Snow Bunnies, which is not a problem. I have no problem. But now that you're in trouble, now you want to go to black women because when you were at the top of your game, you were still rocking with the Snow Bunnies that you like. That just seems weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then I kind of side-eyed Megan Good when she let, what's her name, the dog walk her. But I still think she's a beautiful woman. I've always thought she was pretty from, remember You Got Served? I always thought she was pretty. And then when she played in Eve's Value. Mm-hmm. So I would never take away from her looks, but just some of the things that she's done too is kind of like side-eye. But I do believe women can grow. Yeah, I do believe we can grow, but going back to that Chris Brown, and I'm like, nah, I don't know, but I'm only just one woman, so, and I do think forgiveness is for men because it's like, look at these horrible things that some of these men can do. Like let me tell you about what's his name? Umar Johnson, Dr. Umar Johnson, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's like what we were talking about the other day, triggered about validation. I get he tries to uplift black women. I get that. But this thing about him, his daughter that came out, I'm like, if y'all don't see the game that he's running on y'all, I was like, come on, black women, we gotta wake up. He went right back to his old ways. Hey,
did y'all see? Hey, Ebony, did you see that with Dr. Umar? Did you see that like little ceremony? He said he was marrying these two women.
I saw that. He always said he wanted two women. And
what happened to them? They disappeared because he said he was single. So what happened to them women?
Isn't he against homosexuality on top of that?
And then he want two women.
Like, bruh,
Exactly. I
They
I
are only
hate
Make it
they are
make
only
sense.
against they only against
that.
homosexuality when it comes to them,
I
not
agree.
when it comes to two women.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's the
agree.
truth.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
No, I
because
agree with that. I had a family member who told me that many years ago when I think we were having a conversation about I think we were talking about Cardi B, and then I think Cardi B had came out and said that she's a part of the LGBTQ community, and then one of my family members, of course, male, was like, "Oh, that's okay for women, but for men, it should be forbidden." And I'm like, "Well, it's one of the same. No, men should not love like men. Women can like on." I'm like, "Huh?" And I knew from then, in my early 20s, I was like, "That don't sound right." And then fast forward, I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, "That what?"
they be dead ass too.
Make it make sense. I mean, not that there's nothing wrong. I mean, if you like what you like, but it's like I felt like there was a sense of hypocrisy there, right? That was you're being a hypocrite when you do that. Yeah, if you're a woman and you want to love on them, there's nothing wrong with that. And if a man wants to love on a man, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't allow one for another. I
Yeah.
mean, that just didn't make sense to me.
And then be the main ones to cry and complain about a double standard when y'all are
About
the
a
ones
double.
perpetrating it.
Oh, yes. Exactly, exactly. So that's why I say I think forgiveness it is for men because let one of us okay, I had a child out of wedlock. Let's say I had a child out of wedlock. I don't have any children, but let's just say I did. And I and I chose poorly. That's what they like to say, right? I chose poorly. Oh, that's what you get. You should have chose better. You're a grown woman. You should have did this. That's why you were a single mom. And it's just and like what's the guy's name that just Anthony Edwards? Oh, he getting all the praise, right?
Yeah.
Because he paying all the child support up front. Ain't
You
nobody
want a cookie for that?
going after him.
And that story's already been debunked for being false, but yet people are still running with it.
Really?
Are
Yeah,
you
which is crazy.
serious?
Yes, that's already been debunked for being
What?
false, and people are still running with it just to get his
Oh,
Negro props about something that he not even doing,
that
which
he
is
should just be
crazy.
doing
Fill
regardless.
me in. Fill me in.
What
Oh,
trigger?
you know that did you know the girl? I think her name is Aisha Howard. She's Lil Baby's baby mama,
Right.
Kamisha, and she went ahead and she's like a dance. She used to dance at Magic City and like a IG baddie, and she got a baby by Anthony Edwards, even though he had 3 children that passed last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted her to get a abortion or whatever, and she had the
Damn.
baby. Yeah, we're talking about her.
Right.
And
Oh, okay, the whole story has been new to me, so I've been just trying to like feel it out. I see all of the men talking about it. I thought, but here's what I thought. I thought that the ABs were. I thought they didn't want us to get those. So now that she chose not to, now she's a gold digger. Like, which one is it? Do
Well,
you
which
want
one
her
do
to
you
keep the
want?
child or do you not? You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, because they do be going against us when we do say, okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go choose to you just do what I have to do, and then they're like, "Oh, you unaliving, our children and stuff. Why you do that?" And you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna choose to have." Oh, you know what you were doing? You were trying to just get a bag, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? Like, we can't win for nothing, nothing at all."
Want us to suffer. They want us to suffer.
yes, and I think that they weaponize all of that against black women. They weaponize the abortions, even though a lot of the times they would prefer black women to do that. They just want to be able to still at the end of the day do something to demonize black women. You know what I mean? Because there's been plenty of studies that a lot of abortions take place at the request of the man. So, and it's not like there aren't women out there making their own choices to do that, but there are also women that didn't want to do it, but did it at the pressuring of a man. But nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about that at all. So it's just like, yeah, okay. But yeah, like I said, I just think it's wild, like just to like see in real time, like the different standards that we have. And I really believe that like this idea that the black community has to extend forgiveness to BLK men overall and not give that grace to BLK women. I really do think that it is like an indoctrination that happens in the black community. And I'm not quite for sure when it happens. I think the same thing with BLK worship, BLK male worship is the same thing. I don't know when the indoctrination starts, but I know that it starts and I know that it happens to us all on some level. But it's just that some people, when they get older, they see it. They be like, hey, you know what? I don't think that's pretty much double standarding. And then people we unpack it. And then there are some women that never do.
Do you think religion plays a part in that, and also us just being a
Uh
part
I
of that?
I don't necessarily know about religion. I think religion sometimes people use that to forgive people in general, sometimes to
Right.
excuse bad behavior. And I don't believe that even if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible like I do, it doesn't say that you're supposed to be a fool. And it doesn't supposed to say you're just supposed to forgive everybody. Those are things that people do twist up and run with like false narratives. It's the same thing with judging. When people say the Bible said you can't judge, you know, don't judge, only God judge. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. It says that you can righteously judge people. But people don't say that because people don't read it. But I'll say that I think that the whole forgiveness thing is also something where it has to do with prizing men above women. I think that that type of indoctrination happens because it goes on with the coddling of the BLK male that happens in the BLK community. And I think that it's just something that I don't know if it's that something that maybe rooted in like what happened in slavery because maybe you know BLK men were seen more as a threat. And so BLK women just started going more to protect them. I'm not quite for sure where all of it comes from, but I definitely know that it's in place. And it's something that we gotta stop doing because if you're gonna extend it to them, like my goodness, at least extend it to the women. Like good lord. You know what I'm saying? Oh, snap. You know what? Hey, y'all. I see somebody down in the comments just justified. You said, hey, Trigger, did you see the Kendra G and Awesome interview? It screams so many double standards. Let me tell you, I watched both of those videos fully with that man. The fact that he had any woman contact him is frightening. If any black woman y'all are in for, if y'all want to see something that will make y'all laugh, if y'all want to see something that will make y'all shocked and surprised and pull y'all hair out, if y'all want to be missing edges, y'all need to go to Kendra G's page on YouTube, Kendra G, and y'all need to look up her latest interview. It's two parts with a guy named Awesome, AWESUM. I promise you, plug it in, you will lose your freaking mind. This man was literally in a homeless shelter with a 9-month-old baby that he made with a white woman that is on DRUGs and had the nerve to say that he wants a woman that is financially stable, intelligent, beautiful, that has no kids, that's willing to raise his kid because he ain't gonna raise no bastard baby because only a woman can have a bastard baby. This man said so much crazy stuff, bro.
He
Oh
lost
my
his mind.
gosh.
Lost his everlasting mind.
Y'all gotta go check that out.
Okay.
Y'all gotta go check that out for real.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and he was talking about, and
Wow,
he
I
ain't
got a
got
lot.
no money. He got no money at all. He's in the shelter, like you see him in the shelter there, and he's talking about how like he's a man and he deemed his soul that he gonna get the type of woman that he want. He said that he wants a woman that's gonna listen to him, do what he say. He said a woman can't even order for herself at a restaurant. He got to order for her. He's her king. He gonna tell her what to do. He want to move into a woman house
Yeah.
that got everything, and he want to tell her what to do. It's so crazy, y'all. And not to mention
That's
that
why
he
that
did
woman.
16 years in prison. 16 years in prison, this man did.
That's crazy.
Girl.
That's why that woman on them DRUGSs.
Probably because of him.
She like I gotta do something to get
I
through
gotta do
this.
something to cope with this man.
I wish he would tell me what I'm eating at a restaurant. Boy, you better get up out of
Boy,
here.
bye.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like, Jess, girl, you know what, Jess? It's so crazy. The video, my husband was telling me, like, because he watched something with me, he was like, man, this dude crazy. I was like, yes, he is. He was like, you should make a video about this. And I was like, I don't even know I told him, I said, I don't even know how to make a video because everything was crazy. Everything that he said, I was like, I don't even know where I would begin. Like, and besides, the video was so long. Like, I think the first one's an hour and the second one's an hour. Like, I would want y'all to see it for context for me to even discuss it. I would rather discuss it on like a live panel with women that already saw it than to, like, you know what I'm saying, try to, like, because I can't even clip. I mean, I guess I could clip a few things, but that man is deranged, a psychopath, a
You could
complete
do a watch
psycho.
party.
Yeah, we could
You
do a
could do a
watch.
watch party.
Well, okay, how do I do a watch party? What's a watch party?
Stream it. What we have to
I
stream?
guess you would have to like somehow like preview the video. I don't know how to do it because some people do it. They can preview a video on their panel. You know, maybe use your husband's phone or
Oh, okay.
something. You know, and then show it on there. But yeah, that's how you and put it on a big screen. Yep, you could do that for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I think I'm gonna see about if I can do that. I'll look it up on like
yep.
YouTube to see how I can do it. Cause y'all, I'm telling you, if that's so crazy, like that man is like, honestly, he might be in my top 3 crazy delusional men that I've seen like online. Like that man is a literal lunatic, and I have no idea. You know what I think? I think just, Crystal was talking about like the forgiveness and stuff like that, where that began. I also think that we also have a thing where we uplift VOK men to the point to where no matter what state they're in, they feel like they're desirable, like they actually live in delusion. Because
Yeah.
I remember being married to my first husband before I divorced him. And I remember I told him, I said, like, you're like a terrible person. Like you're a terrible human being. But you walk around here like you just are all of that and you got all the self-esteem in the world. And I don't know where you get it from. And he was like, my mama, my sisters, I am all of that. And I was thinking to myself, like, no, the heck you ain't. No, you are not. And I used to really sit there so many nights and be like confused, like, where does this Negro get the self-esteem that he got? Like, he's a complete loser. You know what I'm saying? And I think that also is a part that we play. That unfortunately, BOK women play a part in uplifting Negroes that don't need to be uplifted, making them feel like they somebody when they not doing nothing. And the standards are always in hell when it comes to black men. Like, it's just like when y'all think about the whole new story that just came with the black man that supposedly left his children at McDonald's to go on a job interview, even though now they saying that he didn't go on a job interview. He was just trying to meet some chicks or whatever. I see
Wow.
all of this support, right, for him. Like, oh, he's just a black man. Look at him. He working so hard to get a job, and he just had to do it. Now, when them women be leaving their kids or try to get a job interview, do something, all I see is she a bad mother. She should have never had the kids in the first place. She
Yeah,
just
she
had the parents.
chose
Ain't
wrong.
no
She should
grace.
have chose better. She should have chosen.
Exactly.
God, can't. Yeah, yeah. So that's going back to your point. Forgiveness is for me. And you said about indoctrination. I don't know if y'all seen this movie on Netflix called. I mean, well, it's a mini series called Adolescence, and it's like how everything kind of plays a role in why this young kid unalived his classmate, and it ties back to what Trigger's always talking about, like that red pill content and why he decided to unalive his classmate. And at the end of that mini series, he literally said, I didn't do nothing wrong. It was her fault. It's her fault. Like he kept blaming her. But then throughout the mini series, you see how the online community played a role, how the parenting, like y'all were just talking about, played a role, how the school also played a role. And all that kind of ties back into the indoctrination of our BM in our community, like that all that is the indoctrination of it. And it's so sad that now we're seeing a movie being made about how this red pill content impacts the entire community.
Yes.
It is. When I say I was shaken last night, I was shaken because yes, we do talk about these things, but for them to adapt it into a movie, yeah, that had me shaking last night.
Okay, Crystal, did you have anything to say? Because I know you. Well, I kind of interrupted. I think you asked me a question. You had something to say, Crystal? You there? Let me see. Yeah, you go ahead, Kamisha. Maybe Crystal doing something.
Yeah, I was gonna piggyback off of that movie, Adolescence.
Hello.
Um, That was crazy. Like, I don't know. Did you watch it? Because
Yeah,
I don't want to spill. I don't want
yeah,
to. I
I
don't
don't
want to
want to spill
spill
the
it.
beans until if Trigger hasn't
Yeah,
watched it.
I
Yeah,
haven't
but
seen it yet. I have to check it out.
yeah, it's
yeah, you gotta check it out. I mean, it will like the preview kind of is spot on. It's really
mhm.
showing like the levels in which this red pill is, and the conversations, like the what the little boy was saying
Oh my goodness.
was the same stuff that we
Yeah.
hear these
Yep.
red pill men say all the time. Their rebuttals, their deflections,
Yep.
everything is what we hear them. Man, you got to see it, Trigger, because
Yeah.
it's disturbing and it's sad to see, because these young men are actually they're doing these things, and they're being indoctrinated so much that they don't even know that they're being indoctrinated. I don't know who I was watching, but the person I was watching was saying you even gotta watch your child playing Roblox, because they're talking this language within those Roblox characters. They're speaking this language on Minecraft. They're speaking this
Yeah.
language in all these different, children's shows, to the point where if you're not even raising your child to think this way, they're going to automatically think that way, and it's just crazy. And I also wanted to go back to when you were talking about um why it is that we keep hearing this thing where we have to essentially you know um protect our men so much over ourselves, because I just hear women, any of my pastors, she's a woman, and I listen to her, and she makes a statement, oh, we, our it's hard out here for our men, and she's in her 70s, and she said, oh, it's hard out here for the men. And in my head, I'm like, why are we always saying it's hard out here for the men? Us black women, we go through some of the same stuff they go through. We live in the same households they live in. We live in the same communities they live in. We have it just as hard. The only difference is the police see them more. They're more over police. That's the only difference. But guess who over polices us? Guess who is always in our faces? They are. So that same thing that the police do to black men, they do to us. You know what I'm saying? So we have it just as hard, but they have to worry about the YT man, and we got to worry about them. So, I wanted to get that part out, but most definitely you should really watch that Adolescence movie on Netflix, because it'll blow your mind. It will blow your mind.
All right, all right. I'm gonna have to check it out, y'all. Okay, go ahead, Crystal.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you
Okay,
now.
okay. I don't know what was going on, but I saw in the comments that Jess did bring up, that lady whose children, were unalived in the car. I'm not sure if y'all spoke in depth on it because I was in the middle of talking to my mom back and forth, so I won't apologize if I bring it up. But I do definitely not only hate that part, but the fact of, how people gave certain graces to the excuses that the father in that situation was making. Like, the woman said, come get your kids. Please come and get your kids. I don't care if she didn't give you no explanation, no none of that. It should have been drop what you doing. It should have been drop what you doing. Go and get your kids. Now I know it's easier said than done, but it seems like that was a situation where she was calling him, not like this is something that's normal. So if something out of the normal is happening concerning your children, go and get them, right? This man said when she called and said the children had passed away, he was in the gym. So you had time to be in the gym. You had time to do all of that. But when this woman said, come and get your children, it was everything else. Oh, I'm at work. I'm at this. Drop her off. Drop them off at the family house. And that's what also made me question that situation too, because at the end of the day, I don't know any mother who, if I'm counting correctly, it was 3 kids, her and her mother, in that one van. If there was also much, all of this family that y'all had for these people to go to, it would I would think that they would more opt to go there, even if the mother had to be separated from the children from a time. I think a mother would opt to take her children to a safe environment as opposed to basically shacking up in a van. So I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
the dad story is very much off, and I feel like he's been given a lot of grace, because you hear, the mother is this, that, and the third, but we're not talking about how neglectful this father is. Like, I'm confused. Like,
Right.
that whole thing gets me, and I need more to come out about that story in general on both sides, because there are certain things that is questionable about the mother, in my opinion, certain things, but I just don't know. And also, the internet plays a lot in misconstruing situations, this, that, and third. But in regards to the father, most of what he said came out his own mouth, and I'm just like, where's the energy and the heat?
Exactly. And she also, in her interview, she also did say that he knew because they had three separate interviews with her. And she said that he knew that she was sleeping out of the car. And his excuse is her wanting me to just come get the kids is
Just
one
cause,
thing, but
yeah.
because you homeless is another thing. Like, for me, that's crazy.
Come get your kids,
If I
regardless.
want a break from my kids, because
Yeah.
we share these kids, if I need a break from my kids, you should be willing as a father to come
To
and
come get your
get our
child.
get our children. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm homeless, come and get your children. Just come and get your children. You don't want to spend time
Yes.
with your own children? That's
Yes.
crazy to me.
And I
That
know he's a liar. He's a liar, because how dare you sit there and say you didn't know these children was homeless? If I remember correctly, one of the children been 13, the other one been 9, and the other one they say was teen. No, one is 2. One was 2. It was a hand baby, so she can't talk. The other one was 9, who passed away. Oh, who was on a left, and the other one was teenaged, but that wasn't his kid. But you're telling me that the 9-year-old couldn't have said anything? You're telling me that the 9-year-old wasn't just like, hey, we not, because the 9-year-old knows what homeless is. He may not know the extent of it, but he know he ain't got no house. You don't FaceTime your kids, because everybody got some type of form of video chat, unless you just respectfully just ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? But most people have video chat. Most people have this, that, and third. Your child is never at home. You don't ever hear weird sounds in the background, or no, you don't ever ask your kids where they at. Like, some about that do not make sense if you are an actually involved parent. And it just gives he's not. But for some reason, it's just, oh well.
these men really don't be a lot of these men really don't be caring about their kids though.
No,
Like,
no.
they don't make sure that they are fed. They don't make sure that they have their needs met. They don't care. Like, I was just watching a video of a little girl.
Mhm.
She was in the car with her dad, and this is these men giving men grace constantly. It
Yeah.
didn't matter what that little girl did, what the mama said, none of that stuff. They still gave this man grace.
Mhm.
So the little girl is sitting in the car with her dad, and the video starts up her saying, dad, uh uh are you I'm hungry. She was talking about being hungry.
Mhm.
And the dad said, well, you should have get now, mind you, this is probably like a 10 or 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She's like, well, he was like, well, you should have brought some money. You should have brought some money.
What?
And he felt like he did right. A 10 or 11-year girl. He felt like because he's paying child support, that money should be coming with her wherever she go. Whatever she needs outside of the child support, she's supposed to keep money in her pocket. So the little girl calls. This is how I know this generation of men that don't want to be deadbeat fathers and want to treat their kid. These little girls not gonna play with them. So the little girl she got on the phone. She called her mom. And she said, "Mom, can you please send me $50?" She said, "Can you please send me $50 because he getting on my nerves. He won't buy me nothing to eat. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. She hungry." So he's like, you should have brought some money. She ended up getting out the car while he talking to her. She got out the car and she she went to go get us something to eat. she was like, I'm not about to waste no time. I'm hungry. You're my father. You're supposed to be taking care of me. Bye. See you later. She
Yeah.
hopped out the car like a grown woman. You know how when men mistreat women, they leave, they walk out the door. That's exactly what she did. She was like, I'm not about to waste time. My mama is gonna be the one to take care of me. And she did. She got her food. I don't think that it was a skit because it didn't feel like a skit because the little girl did look very frustrated. She did look very hurt.
Right.
So I don't know, but you'll probably see the video at some point, you know.
That's just
But at the end of the day, yeah, you gonna see it. You'll see it.
that's some strange stuff because at the end of the day, I understand if you and mama did not have a good relationship, y'all fell out, et cetera, that does happen and it sucks. But you do not never handicap your child for that. And that goes on either side, but being that we are speaking specifically about the father here, you know you've been dead wrong. Because at the end of the day, you do not withhold food from your child. You do not question, like my child, if your child say you hungry, give them food. Like it shouldn't be no question. It shouldn't even be, oh well, this, that, and third. You do not bring churn into a grown folk business. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. And again, I don't know the dynamics of the relationship because that could be happening on both sides. I don't know. But I know when it comes to the daddy here, he dead wrong. Cause you that's not what you do. You don't sit in the child. How you fix your mouth to sit in the child's face to say that? Like, how does that even happen? Like, how do you bring yourself, like, what mental process? Because you know he had to sit here and think about that, stew on that. He probably been thinking about it for a long time, pretty much waiting for that situation to come up so he could say something crazy like that to that baby. And that's wild to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what's going on. I think that a lot of men are using children to sit women down to stop maybe what they feel like the woman may be like she's on track to be real successful. I think some men are using babies as weapons on women and they don't have any intentions of taking care of the child or being like an active parent. They don't have any intentions on it. They know that it's going to fall mostly on the woman and that's very unfortunate. And that's why I just really don't think that women should even be having these children from these men in the first place because that's exactly what they seek to do. They You know what I mean? And I just think it's absolutely disgusting. And I remember I saw this video. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it was like a black woman. She was trying to get her baby daddy to watch. They got two kids, and they're both his. And she was telling him that when he leaves, she watches both of the kids so that he could get a break or a breather. But he was telling her that when she leaves, she has to take at least one of them. And she was saying that it's not fair because she needs a breather too. And he was telling her, well, didn't you know that when you had these kids, when you had these beautiful kids, you became a mother like they was going to be with you. And it's just like, well, you had them too, Negro.
We
It takes
both
two to make
lied.
a child.
We both
Like,
lied to having kids. Like,
yeah, crazy. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't think right now, is really beneficial for a lot of black women to have children because, and it's not just like it's a black man thing either. It's an all race thing where the women complain about, the parenthood dynamic being imbalanced and most of it relying on the woman. Like I don't know if y'all ever watched them like YouTube videos where like the interviewer will ask the kids like who do they love more, or they'll ask the dad like ask them questions about their kids like where they go to school, what their teacher's name is, what's their birthday, all of these things, and the men never know nothing. And most of the time the kids always say they love the mom the most. And the men, then I see men in the comments like, that's so sad. No, it's not so sad. That just lets you know who's doing most of the pouring into the kids. It's the freaking mother. And so it's like, if you go in, you go into having a child, you got to know that most of the time it's going to be an imbalanced dynamic. It is. And if you're not ready for that, then you don't need to have no kids. And definitely not for these knuckleheads out here. Like for real. It's just a crazy situation,
mm-hmm. That's why I ain't got nan child yet, because ain't no way. This world already crazy. And you, just to say that you laying down with just not any and everybody, but you really, really, really gotta know what type of person this person is. And that's not always it's not always that easy because people do change up. But the way that I see these people talk online, especially these men, girl, they ain't sitting me down for a little money. I ain't gonna lie, like I don't even have time. I don't even got time.
I totally understand. Like I said, you guys, I don't know what if you guys want to talk deeper about this topic. I just hope that with every like live I do, like we can really start, identifying like the biases that, you know, unconscious maybe bias, because I don't think that every black woman that supports Chris Brown is thinking like deeply into it, like, you know what, I am, willing to accept mistreatment at the hands of men if I find them to be attractive. I don't think they look at it that deeply, even though that's exactly what it is. But I think that the more we have these conversations, hopefully we can make like more black women and black girls think critically about this stuff, because even if we're not thinking about it critically, these men are still getting away with all of this mistreatment. Do you think that Chris Brown really feels like if he gets in trouble or he beats or breaks off another chick or smacks her up or does something that, he's going to get away with it, or nobody at the end of the day, his fan base isn't going to care? He probably does, and his fan base isn't going to care. Just like I said earlier, with he already has a history of being, disrespectful to women, and was, disrespecting Tiana Taylor, calling her all type of bees and stuff. We saw that on video, but nobody even cared about it. Some people tried to put it on her and said, oh, maybe she was talking crazy. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to think about that. We have to stick. And that's also a form of male centeredness. That you as a black woman would ever want to take the side of a man against a woman. I don't care if you think he's attractive or not. That's gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when the shoe is fit different, Chris Brown has already shown that he's not siding against no man for black women. Which is the reason why Tory Lane said that he was the only one that sent him money when he reached out to him. He sent him $250,000 because he's siding with the man over the women every day. And the fact that black women are willing to side with this man over black women is wild to me. Like, it just don't make no sense. And that's why we continue to get our faces played in, because we show men that they can do whatever. And if as long as they come back with a good game, or as long as they are attractive, like Jonathan Majors got the good game going, they got Sherry Shepherd crying like a dummy on her show. Like, as long as they can do one of the two, we gonna be like, okay, King. Okay, King, I understand, King. The world is so hard for you, King. It's ridiculous. You got
Yeah.
something to say, Crystal?
I guess yeah, it's definitely strange the fact that especially Chris Brown has been notoriously known not only for his abuse like we talked about, but just for straight up saying, no darkies type like a lot
Exactly.
of confused. And it'd be mainly us who's just like I'm not gonna say I don't listen to Chris Brown. I'm not gonna say that I do not listen to some of his music. I'm not even gonna make that lie. But to say I'm buying any tickets, to say that all these pictures and all this, that it's never that serious. It simply ain't. And it's also because he has said he don't like any of us. So how do you feel comfortable standing in a picture with somebody who doesn't even? I'm not gonna say don't find you attractive, because he doesn't have to find you attractive, but doesn't even see the worth or the beauty in you to say we both black, regardless of that shade, regardless of skin shade. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I definitely understand. I think that women that spend their hard-earned money to take a picture with Chris Brown are a special type of delusional. Especially seeing as though like a lot of his supporters are brown to dark skinned women. Every time I see them, I be like, girl, you wouldn't even pass the paper bag test. He wouldn't let you or me in the section. What's wrong with you? What's
No.
wrong with you? It's so embarrassing. Like, honestly, like I every time it blows my mind. And you know what, Miss Chrissy, baby, you said Sherry looking like robotic from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Looking like what? No, ma'am. No, no,
Let me
ma'am.
tell you something, Miss Chrissy, baby. I cannot believe you said that because you are so right. You are so right. That's exactly how.
No,
You know
ma'am.
what? I don't. You know what? I don't care for Sherry Shepherd. I have like I don't know. Sherry Shepherd really gives me the ick for some reason. Like she just gives me very much male centered. Very much that she would bash you and put you down just to get a crumb of attention from a man. It's just something about her. Yes, just justify. It is so funny because it is so true. That's exactly what she looked like. But I'm sorry. I won't talk about her looks. But oh my god, that is so. It's so true. But like I said, I've never really cared for her. Never, never cared for her. Like even back in the day when she just, I don't know. It's just something about her. Like I don't know. She just gives me the ick. Like she just turns me off. And you know, I haven't watched her show, but I have watched clips from her show. And she's just as annoying as I always thought she was in the clips. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like she's the type of woman that's just like because she married some dude, right? That she ended up having, they said they were gonna have a baby through a surrogate. And like they ended up breaking up like before like the baby was fully born. So she tried to distance herself from the baby or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. But he ended up suing her for child support off a baby that she's not genetically connected to at all. And she ended up having to pay child support. And I remember looking it up and seeing the man that she was going through all of this, and this man looked like a literal warthog. And I was like, you know what? You clearly you're desperate. Cause the fact that you out here letting yourself get played with by a man that looks like a warthog is wild. Out of pocket, insane, crazy. Have y'all ever looked up Sherry Shepherd ex-husband? If you do, just beware because what you'll see will disturb your stomach. I hope you ain't eat nothing because it's just like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? But yeah, it's something I really don't like her. It's just something about her, like I said, that just And when I saw that stuff that she was doing, all that hooting and hollering with Jonathan Majors, and he was even looking at her like, yeah, you doing too much. I was just like, like what are you doing? And then it's like you know, she had did that whole thing where she talks about the girls at the Oscars, you know, where she was saying like the girls at the Oscars, you know, didn't have no clothes on and she didn't like it and women need to present themselves better. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Crystal, you said you looked them up. I told you. Oh my goodness. You see, I was not even playing like for real. Oh my goodness. But anyway, what was I saying? I was saying like, okay, so I remember when Sherry Shepherd but anyway, what was I saying? I was saying like, okay, so I remember when Sherry Shepherd was talking about the girls at the Oscars and stuff, and then she was talking about Meg Thee Stallion dress. And you know, I could understand to somewhat degree because I love Meg Thee Stallion. I'm not even gonna cap. I really do love her. I love to work out to her music. I love to listen to her music when I'm trying to be like, yeah, all right, forget these dudes. Even though I'm married, so I can't relate to what she's saying, but it still sounds good. It sounds good to my ears. But I will say that I did understand what she was saying somewhat about Meg's dress because it was like she just had the full boob out. She didn't even have the sheer on the top of nothing, just straight the boob and the pasty. But it just gave pick me still to me because you wanted to critique these women, but then you know what I'm saying? But you want to have Jonathan Majors on there and crying and fawning all over him. Like what's the bigger deal? A woman, you know, showing a boob with a pasty on it, or a man that's over here terrorizing women and strangling them? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's worse, ma'am? You had more smoke for the ladies in the clothes. Like, so that's definitely pick me behavior. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, ew. Like I said, I don't know. It's just something about her. But she just seemed like she probably never really got attention from men like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, of the way that she's built. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's probably what makes her thirsty for male attention. Probably. Probably. That's just my thought. Oh my goodness, Miss Chrissy, baby, you said that he looks like a Popeyes manager that is stingy with the sauce.
I crying hard.
Oh.
That's funny.
Y'all just be saying
Miss
whatever.
Chrissy, baby, stop it. Stop it, Miss Chrissy, baby. Stop it now. Give me your phone, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Right
Hand it
now,
over.
turn your phone in.
Oh my goodness. I want that phone, Miss Chrissy, baby. I'm not playing. Give me that phone, sis.
Girl, she don't care about nothing. Like you can don't help her.
Hey, hey Angie, did you have something to say, sis?
You know what? I accidentally got on this live. I'm enjoying listening to you. Thank
Okay,
you.
no problem, sis.
Hey, Trigger. I want
Yeah,
to know, have you seen that trend when the girls are saying I want to get into a relationship, but then I remind myself of what happened the last time, and it
yeah,
pays what
yeah.
they. I was reading one comment, and the one person said you need to report him to the embassy. When I say I cackled, I think my next door neighbors heard me when I heard. And that's what Miss Chrissy Baby is reminding me of when she said he looked like.
I'm telling you, Miss Chrissy baby cutting up, bro. She cutting up. I'm gonna find her location and IP address and take her phone. She needs to lose access immediately. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. You know, I'm glad that we all got a chance to talk. I'm glad I talked to you today, Crystal, also Kamisha, and also Just Justified and you too, Ebony. I appreciate y'all so much.
Well, if you pulling up again, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I get notifications for you. I just see that you're live, but it
I'm
doesn't
shadow
actually.
banned, girl. I am
Oh my
shadow banned.
god. My feelings be so I really gotta catch you. I'm about to cry. Oh my
For
god.
real, because you don't like
Okay,
I used
well,
to have
either way,
like
when I see your live, girl, I be clicking on it, and
I'll be running
I'm happy I
on
was
this
able to
line.
talk
I'll be
as
running to
full
click on this.
capacity as I could instead of being at work running back and forth. But yeah, it's always a good time with y'all.
oh, thank you, thank you. I tell you, I used to have like when I first before I got shadow banned, I used to have like 100, 200 people in my lives. Like one time I was talking about Erica Mena, I had like 10 to 20,000 people up in there. But now it's like it don't be happening no more, like ever. Like I've never got those type of numbers again. Never had nobody in there like that. It's crazy. So I know I'm shadow banned. I know it's something I'm not never gonna have again because they mad at me. But yeah.
But that's okay because the masses aren't always receptive to the truth. So if you gotta preach what you gotta preach to the small, and they preach outward as best they can, that's how you get the message going. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be big, sadly enough. I wish you could because a lot of people need your message. But thank you for at least giving it to who you can.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of
All
course.
right. Abby, you have something to say before I get up out of here?
I'm gonna say the same thing I always say, Trigger. You keep going, you keep doing what you're doing. I see the YouTube channel is growing, and I'm so proud of you. So I can't wait to see you on the next one.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Once again, I appreciate all of y'all. Crystal, Ebony, Kamisha, and Just Justify, all of my ladies that came up. Also, Miss Chrissy Baby, thanks so much for cracking me up. Also, Tara, Grace. Oh, thank you so much, Tara. And let me see if I shout out anybody else that's down here. That's just in the comments. I'm trying to see if I can go back up and read and see. I know Tara was in here. I feel like it was another good sis in here too. Coach T was here. And shoot. PG 1908 was here. And Sparkles was here. Shoot. And I know it was somebody else. Let me see. But I guess I'm missing it now, the comments. But hey, charge it to my head, not my heart. All right. I love y'all and hope y'all have a great weekend. And if y'all don't know, I do have a YouTube. Just click on the link in my bio and it'll take you to my YouTube. And subscribe to me because right now I'm on the road to 20K. Yep. So follow me there. And oh, thank you so much, Miss Chrissy, baby. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That really does help me. Thank you. All right, I'll see y'all later. Love y'all.
We love you too, Gra.
All right.